Hello everyone, welcome to my presentation today for Scrum for our ArcGIS Pro add-in development. As you know, we are developing an add-in for ArcGIS Pro. This add-in is for a water demand module that you know all about. The current deadline for our client is April 30th. This is due to their request. It's kind of a little bit more accelerated than we were originally thinking. And we have several tasks that are kind of outlined in our backlog of tasks that need to be completed to meet this date. And these tasks would be to add 3 more buttons and 3 more and write the logic for those buttons to add to the taskbar that you see below. And then another task would be to continue to develop this ribbon, develop the user experience so that it functions a little bit more um, and a little bit better than what we have previously developed. Below, what you see below is kind of our work in progress, and we need to make a push to flesh out the development of it even more. In case why should we use Scrum for the development of this ArcGIS Pro ribbon? So to understand that, we need to talk about what Scrum is. Scrum takes an iterative approach to software development and breaks down a project into manageable coding segments called sprints. These are typically 1 to 4 weeks. So that kind of could fit with the timeline that we're looking at if we're trying to get everything completed by April the 30th. There are several roles on a Scrum, the Scrum Master, the Product Owner, the Development Team Member, and these roles help facilitate and guide the project. Just real brief, the Scrum Master, he is the servant leader. He's not the project manager per se from uh, traditional project development, but he's the servant leader that kind of helps facilitate and guide the team so we can achieve this accelerated goal of software development. The product owner, they're the one who's going to take a look at everything. Typically, this might be our client or even our internal client, and they're going to oversee the backlog of our tasks, help us write user search stories, and kind of organize our project board. We can see those tasks from before. The product owner is going to look at those, decide how we need to be doing that, decide if we need to be doing that, and kind of working closely with the Scrum Master and the development team. Lastly, the development team is a collection of developers and designers, and they kind of work cohesively amongst themselves and together um, to achieve the sprint objectives, and they're self-organizing. Uh, Scrum kind of works. There's several events. It's the sprint itself. There's sprint planning. There's the daily Scrum, the sprint review, and retrospective. All of these events help us achieve the goal of the sprint, which is to complete everything in our project backlog that we went over before. Um, Sprint planning is when all the developers get together and they line out everything that needs to be done and break everything down into micro tasks. Daily Scrum is a short 15-minute meeting held up at the beginning of every day to help organize the team and help prioritize their tasks and kind of help eliminate any blockers or any issues the team is facing. At the end of the sprint, there's a review, and all the stakeholders are invited to review what was built and make preliminary plans for the next phase of development, review how the development went, how they want to take on the next steps for development, or unfortunately, maybe possibly discontinuing development. And finally, the sprint retrospective is the final sprint event and a Scrum event, and it is to review the team reviews how they work together and kind of develop their internal process. Finally, the benefits of Scrum is it focuses on adaptive planning and resources of, of the project team to help develop functional software quicker so we can kind of achieve the deadline that we kind of are looking at. Scrum work seeks to solve problems by focusing on teamwork and collaboration with the customer and flexibility. This is very important because we want to be developing something that ultimately the end users want to be built. And Scrum will work great for our projects. Scrum works really well for small projects such as ours, where we are going to have 3 or 4 developers, and then we're all going to be working closely together. So that is the end of my presentation. Thank you all very much for attending, and have a good day.